It's quite homely, really. The best thing about having a shed.
Prince had a great week of preparation.
Career. I haven't quite come across a chef in...
Only $12.99.
Power corrupts.
Come to make him an offer.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Glad we understand one another.
Billy Zane, Robert Downey Jr., Lisa Collins. The fate of the nation lies in their hands.
We're thinking about another Chernobyl.
And time is running out.
It is radioactive. He's a rogue agent.
Danger Zone, Tuesday at 9 on 5. Some people are cut out for a life of crime. Some aren't. Butch and Sundance, they're not. And now, they're on the run.
And I'm pulling the pin, so no funny business.
You really are very cute.
But he's in it up to his neck, and he'll have to keep his head down. And as for the disguises, Nick Nolte, Martin Short, Three Fugitives, next Monday at 9 on 5.
When 5 first started, we thought, let's have a late-night sports show called Dead and Perfectly Safe. Then we thought, nah, that'd never work.
Welcome along to our coverage of Week 14 and going into it. There are 5 teams now out of contention, but Mike Carlson's here. He's always where the action is, aren't you, Mike?
Harold Wilson said a week is a long time in football.
That's right. He said that about this very sport.
That's right.
I seem to remember. I'm sure you're right. OK, let's press on. Let's look at the AFC picture, shall we? And going into Week 14, there was a clear leader in each of the AFC divisions. Seattle were looking to break a 2-game losing streak. Jacksonville had the best record, and Indianapolis were in position to grab at least a wild-card berth. The chasing pack had plenty to play for. Mike now takes us through the AFC contenders, who began the week early.
On Thursday, the Titans transferred back to the victory track behind the running of Eddie George, whose 20-yard gallop set up Steve McNair for a 7-0 lead. But Oakland struck back as Rich Gannon and Napoleon Kaufman combined on a sweet screen that similarly set up a short score. This one would come on a plunge by Zach Crockett. Crockett's short score tied the scores at 7. Then in the fourth quarter, George got Tennessee back on track as he choo-chooed in from 8 to make it 14-7 Titans. Then George added another 7 with his 3rd touchdown of the day on his way to 199 yards rushing, the best in the NFL this season. Oakland got a late TD as Gannon hit Ricky Dudley from 2 yards out, but the Titans held on to win 21-14. And Eddie George was the big story. He got 199 on the ground, 6 catches for another 50, and 2 more sacks for rookie Javon Curse. In the Hoosier Dome, Indy initiated the scoring on Peyton Manning's 5-yard pass to Marcus Pollard. Later in the half, Manning's sneaky shovel slickly slid past the Pats' D as Edgerrin James made it 14-6 Colts. It was 20-9 Colts with 3 minutes to play when Drew Bledsoe hit Sean Jefferson to close the gap, but the Pats fizzled out and the Colts hung on to win 20-15. James had 101 yards rushing, Harrison 118 on the ground. The Pats wasted big days from Bledsoe and Glenn, and Bledsoe was apologetic.
I'll just say that, you know, on behalf of myself and the team, I really want to apologize to Mr. Kraft. I mean, he pays a lot of money for this, the players he has on this team, and for us, you know, to be in the situation we're in right now is simply not acceptable. In this game, there were plays there to be made that I didn't make, you know, I'm accountable for those plays. You know, when you're the quarterback in this offense, you you know, these guys count on me to make plays, and man, I didn't make enough of them today, and so that's what I'm accountable for.
With the Chiefs already up 7-0, Elvis Gerbach hit Tony Gonzalez with a 13-yard touchdown to increase their lead over the visiting Vikings. The G-force of Gerbach and Gonzalez got going again to put the Chiefs up 21-0 just seconds into the second quarter. But quicker than you can say Yo Murphy, Robert Tate took a short kickoff back. Watch 23 Carlton Gray win our Wimp of the Week award. Tate breaks the tackle, goes 76 yards, and it was 21-7. In the third quarter, Randy Moss turned a quick pass from Jeff George, ta-ta, into a touchdown. It was George's second TD pass, and it tied the game at 21. But George, ta-ta, fumbled while being sacked by Derek Thomas, and Eric Hicks rumbled with the fumbled ball, 44 yards for a touchdown and another Chief lead. Pulling out all the stops, the Vikings had Moss returning punts in the final 2 minutes. Remember, this guy's 6'4", but he weaves his way 64 yards to tie the game up with 1:53 remaining. But the Chiefs used that time to set up Pete Stoyanovich for a 38-yard field goal with 3 seconds left. The Vikings go tumbling to their second straight loss, 31-28. The Chiefs got 151 yards rushing from 4 different backs. The Vikings got 118 from Robert Smith, but special teams and turnovers were the story. Last week, the Chargers welcomed back Rodney Harrison. This week, it was Natron Means who gave San Diego a 7-0 lead. Welcome back, Natron. John Kitna's 48-yard pass to Joey Galloway set up one of 3 Todd Peterson field goals in the first half. The Chargers led 13-9 at the half. Seattle took a 16-13 lead in the third quarter on Kitna's 14-yard TD to Derek Mays. San Diego tied the game on John Carney's third field goal of the game and then took the lead when Ricky Waters fumbled, and it was recovered by Jason Perry. Perry's recovery set up Carney to kick his 4th field goal of the game from 41 to give San Diego a 3-point lead. And that's Aussie Darren Bennett holding the ball. Seattle had a chance to tie the game with a minute left, but Todd Peterson missed his 3rd field goal of the quarter, this one from 38, and Seattle lost their 3rd in a row, 19-16. Peterson missed 3 kicks all season before that 4th quarter, where he mixed 3 kicks in 1 quarter. A big game for Junior Seau, 9 tackles for the Chargers. It's Dr. Jetskill and Mr. Hyde. The Jets are tough in their division, and the Dolphins are in their division, but with the score tied at 6 in the third quarter, Nate Jacquet looked like giving Miami a lead with that punt return. Stanley Pritchard's TD plunge did put the Dolphins up 13-6. But in the fourth quarter, Ray Lucas gave Keyshawn Johnson the damn ball to tie the score. And then Lucas and Johnson combined again from 24 yards out to put the Schizoid Jets up 19-13. The score was 22-13 when Omar Stoutmire stepped in front of a Dan Marino pass and returned it 67 yards to give the Jets a 28-13 lead. Jimmy Johnson pulled Marino after that interception, and Damon Heward came in. He hit Aronde Gadsden with a 7-yard touchdown, but the Dolphins were deader than Jimmy Hoffa, and the Jets' fine play within their division continues. Keyshawn Johnson had a huge game, 11 catches, 144 yards, but 2 picks by Dan Marino just infuriated JJ. The Bills had Thurman Thomas back to face the Giants, and number 34 didn't waste any time making an impression. Trailing 6-3, Doug Flutie hit Thomas with a screen pass. It went for a 23-yard touchdown, and the Bills had a 10-6 lead. But the Giants, fresh from routing the Jets, struck back as Amani Toomer, malignant again this week, took a 14-yard touchdown from Kerry Collins for a 13-10 halftime lead. Jonathan Linton put the Bills up 17-16 on a 2-yard run in the fourth quarter, but Collins' 15-yard pass to Tiki Barber on a 3rd and 15 put the Giants in position for the win. It took Kerry Blanchard's 48-yard field goal with 40 seconds on the clock to give New York the unofficial state championship with a 19-17 win. And I love my special teams coaches. Jim Fossil is now 9-0 for his career in the month of December. Tiki Barber had 8 catches for 90 yards. Jermonte Dawson couldn't answer the opening bell in Pittsburgh, but the bus was headed airborne. Jerome Bettis passing for 21 yards to Hines Ward to give the Steelers a quick lead over Baltimore. But Baltimore's Priest Holmes found a hole and went 64 yards untouched for a touchdown run, which tied the score at 7. Tied at 10 in the third quarter, turnover Tony Banks hit Kadri Ismail with a pass, and the Pocket Rockets spun and run for a 54-yard touchdown, which gave the Ravens the lead. With Bill Cowher in everybody's face, rookie Troy Edwards caught a 6-yarder from Mike Tomczak, which tied the game up at 17. But Banks and Ismail did it again, 59 yards this time, and the Ravens were up 24-17. And this time the shock doesn't knock Kadri Ismail down. Then Banks dropped back again and found, guess who, for a 76-yard touchdown all alone. Ismail had 258 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns on the day. Cordell Stewart is back to slashing again. His 11-yard touchdown pass from Tomczak was too late. The Ravens slashed the Steelers 31-24. Tony Banks throwing for 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and that remarkable 258 for Ismail receiving. In Cincinnati, part 2 of the Battle of Ohio began with the Bengals rookie Craig Yeast rising to the occasion. His 81-yard punt return gave the home team a 10-0 lead. They'll start calling him No Neck after that one. Tim Couch found his safety valve receiver Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jabbar's touchdown made it 10-7. But the Bengals' Corey Dillon went over from 1 yard out to give Cincinnati a 23-7 lead in the second quarter. And Dillon's third touchdown, an 11-yard run in the third quarter, put Cincinnati up 30-15. Dillon had 192 yards rushing on the day and only played the first 3 quarters. Trailing 37-15, Irv Smith's 16-yard touchdown pass closed the gap to 2 TDs. But Jeff Blake hit Darnay Scott from 52 yards out. The Bengals go on to win 44-28. That's their 3rd win in a row, and 3 wins in a row might just have saved Bruce Coslett's job. The good news for the rest of the league is Cincinnati has a bye next week. And here's how the standings look in the AFC East. Indianapolis now way ahead of the pack. Buffalo, Miami, and New England all lost when they should have been winning. And same story in Central Division, Jacksonville keeping ahead of Tennessee, Baltimore just keeping their hopes for wild card alive, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Cleveland more or less out of it. And in the West, Seattle has dropped back now into the pack with Kansas City, the Chiefs on the 3-game winning streak, Seattle on the 3-game losing streak. The Chiefs have the best record in the division, and San Diego's on a 2-game winning streak at 6-7. And if the playoffs were today, Indianapolis and Jacksonville and Seattle would be the divisional champions. Tennessee, Buffalo, and Miami would get the wild cards. Kansas City, with the same record as Buffalo and Miami, would be out. New England's in a free fall at 7-6, would be out. Oakland, Baltimore, San Diego, and the Jets all lagging behind.
Okie dokie, there you go. And as you, it's the pack is sorting itself out a bit, except to say, I mean, look at the AFC West to start with. I mean, that's really good stuff going on there, isn't it?
Yeah, and Kansas City has made that, you know, into a competitive division, along with Seattle not being able to put teams away, which is really killing them. And it's the AFC East, though, that really puzzles me, because the one where everybody had to win and the 3 teams chasing Indianapolis all lost. You know?
Yeah, they've got a great sense of drama, haven't they, Buffalo and Miami in particular? You know, just when they think they can romp it home, they let everybody back at them.
Yeah, and it's, you know, especially Buffalo losing to the Giants up in Buffalo, you really expected them to win that game.
Seattle, they're an intriguing prospect as well, because it felt like they were going to kind of stroll towards the postseason looking formidable, and then suddenly
it was looking that way. And I mean, they had 2 games where turnovers killed them, 10 turnovers in their last 2 games. This game, they cut that down, although Ricky Waters' fumble came at just the wrong time. But Todd Peterson chose the 4th quarter of that game to start missing field goals, and he missed 3 in the 4th quarter. If he makes 1 of them, they're in a tie game. If he makes 2, they win it.
Is it, is it that kind of jittery period anyway? I mean, can we account for a lot of it
It's
through that?
It's a good point, because remember, the Seahawks have never been there.
Yeah,
and they weren't under Dennis Erickson. They always fade at the end of seasons. Mike Holmgren's been there before, but it's not something that the coach can teach the team how to do. They have to learn this for themselves.
Can you see a situation there where there's a team that you feel are nicely equipped for the postseason,
but
may just blow out? Yeah.
The team that I would fear in the postseason who won't get there is probably Oakland. Although Baltimore, the way they're playing in the last couple of games, would be another threat. Because if Tony Banks, who's always had that potential to throw deep, but usually winds up dribbling the ball, on the ground, can actually do that, game after game, they're going to be a dangerous force. And, if Priest Holmes isn't in, Eric Rhett was running really well before that.
Absolutely. It's a really good ruck, isn't it? Like an enormous great big mud wrestling match going on there. I enjoy in that business the way that's going on, and there's even more of that kind of stuff.
The bodies are a little less interesting.
Exactly, that's right. But at least you can spot the uniforms. And when we come back, we can see if they're getting up to the same kind of business in the NFC. Join us after the break.
In a head-on collision at 30 miles per hour, your body weight is multiplied by up to 25 times. Which is why every Citroen Zara has ABS and 4 airbags. The Citroen Zara West Coast with air conditioning costs only £10,995, and now it comes with £1,000 cash back.
If you're single, or even if you're not, you'll always be welcome at the Singles Bar. People call in every day looking to chat, get a date, or perhaps something more. You'll find the Singles Bar on 09069 12 13 12. And we have thousands of callers every day looking for fun. So why don't you join me on 09069 12 13 12. Call us now.
As the millennium approaches, the eyes of the world will be fixed upon the Millennium Countdown Clock at Greenwich Observatory, International Centre of Time. It will tell us all precisely when the new age begins. This clock has been designed and built by Accurist, so no one's celebrating the millennium until we say so.
Presenting the Dremel Multi. You cut, Dremel cuts. You sharpen, Dremel sharpens. You clean, Dremel cleans. You sand, Dremel sands. Did I mention we cut? With more than 100 accessories, the Dremel Multi is even more versatile than a Swiss Army knife. When ordinary tools won't do, use the Multi with Flex Shaft. The compact, flexible shaft makes it the perfect tool in a tight spot. Dremel.
£2 off? £2 off?
I never thought I'd feel this way.
£2 off?
About you.
Iceland by appointment to Father Christmas.
What does every mum want for Christmas? Younger looking skin. Isn't that what every mum wants for Christmas? Oil of Olay for Christmas.
Results now, not tomorrow, now! If Jacobson won't play ball, we'll take him down!
You're the computer guy. Ted,
yeah.
You did that network thing. Let's customers talk to our sales reps through our website.
Yeah.
You saved my business.
E-networks from 3Com. It pays to be connected.
Whatever you're looking for on the internet, Lycos retrieves it fast. Whether you're surfing for fun or searching for that unusual gift, go get it with Lycos. It's easy and it's fast. Even the most detailed scientific information is quick to track down. Go get it with Lycos, your personal internet guide.
Welcome back to part 2 of our Week 14 review of the NFL. And before we press on, can I just switch an initial on you? Can we go NHL? Yes, we can. This is our live game for you on Wednesday night. It's going to be a stormer. The LA Kings are going very, very nicely indeed, and they're at the New York Rangers in Madison Square Gardens, where the big spending Rangers have finally started to get their season together. That is our live NHL game. 11:45 the programme starts, and face-off is not much after that. Join us Wednesday. And then if you want to pick up with the NFL playoffs, this is how we're going to be going about our business. Game plan is the first one of the playoff weekend, and that is starting at noon. As you can see, Todd Macklin previewing all of the playoff games, and then we are on with the pick of the games. Our game of the week is on Sunday night. We start at 12:05, and during the course of that, where you'll see a whole playoff game, you'll also see action from all of the other playoff games as well. That is the way that our scenario will crumble, which is mixing my metaphors. OK, let's press on. Back to Week 14 and the National Conference. And in the NFC, the postseason scenario is far from clear. Only New Orleans and Philadelphia completely out of contention. St. Louis, already crowned champions of the Western Division, now looking to secure home field advantage. While there was a showdown in Washington for the leadership of the East, and another in Tampa Bay to be king of the Central.
In Tampa, the pirate ship cannons were silent as Gus Farad hit Johnny Morton for 48 yards to put the Lions in position to score. And the home team fans were calling for replay, but this is why. Call it a catch. Greg Hill's 10-yard run gave Detroit a 10-0 lead. But rookie Sean King in his second start hit Warwick Dunn, who took the pass 68 yards. That put the Bucs in scoring position. Kevin McLeod showed why he's a blocking fullback as he juggled a 3-yard touchdown pass, and that left it 10-7 at halftime. After Mark Carrier intercepted King, Brad Culpepper sacked Farad for a safety. That made it 10-9 Lions. The Lions dominated the third quarter, but Mike Allstott's plunge tied the game at 16 in the fourth. And Allstott's second touchdown on a 22-yard screen pass from King gave the Bucs a 23-16 win and dominance in their division. Another fine day for the rookie Sean King, especially throwing the ball to Warwick Dunn coming out of the backfield. But defensive back John Lynch, who had a key interception, explained how this is new territory for Tampa.
This is really uncharted territory for us as an organization. You know, the guys that have been here for 4 years. I think, you know, some of us been here for 7 and all the way up to Gruber. You know, we never played for a division title this late in the year. We're certainly enjoying it. You know, we're doing the things you got to do to win.
Fortunately, our defense kept us close. We weren't as sharp as we normally are, but we made some stops in the red zone, made them kick field goals, and came up with some big plays at the end. So it was a huge win against a very, very fine football team.
The Packers took the lead at home when Keith McKenzie intercepted Steve Berline in the first quarter. He ran like a defensive back, and he did the Lambeau leap like a defensive back, too. The Pack might have been wishing he was a defensive back as Berline bounced back with a 35-yard touchdown pass to Patrick Jeffers and a 10-7 Panther lead. Brett Favre found Antonio Freeman with a 19-yard fling to give Green Bay a 14-10 lead at the half. But Berline and Jeffers combined for their second score to take the lead at 17-14. Berline was picking the Packers' secondary apart. Green Bay rookie Donald Driver's 8-yard touchdown from Favre put the Pack back on top, 21-17. But Berline came right back again to Brian Kinchin this time, and after the teams exchanged field goals, William Henderson put Green Bay back in the lead, 31-27 on this plunge. But on the game's final play, Berline's quarterback draw worked against the Packers' 3-man rush. Carolina got the win, 33-31, despite having only 13 yards rushing and Brett Favre discussed his team's direction for the future.
Where do we go from here? I know where I go. I can't wait to practice this week and play Minnesota. Or you can pack it in and go and start packing your bags for January 3rd. Right? And I hope our guys don't do that because, we're not out of it, but we have dug ourselves a deep hole.
We've taken a step backwards by not getting this thing done today, and quite naturally, we have to crank it up, and we're fighting for our lives. That's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for our lives to get back in this thing.
The Redskins, hosting Arizona, knew the best way to win was to keep their D off the field, and Stephen Davis's running was the key, starting with this 50-yard touchdown. Ever seen a zebra sing soprano? Watch this. Ooh! Irving Fryer's 7-yard touchdown pass from Brad Johnson had the Skins up by 7. And then Johnson hit Michael Westbrook for a 21-3 lead at halftime. Skip Hicks' 11-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter finished off the Cardinals. The Skins win 28-7. The key stat, Washington had 17.5 minutes more possession than Arizona. Stephen Davis, 37 carries for 189 yards.